Good day, everyone. You are welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Elizabeth, and I help professionals to become confident and eloquent speakers. Today's lesson will be on modal auxiliary verbs. These are important parts of the English language, modal auxiliary verbs, and most people confuse them. So we'll be doing the clarification in this video. What are modal verbs? Modal verbs are very common in English, and they are coined from the word mood. We use it to express mood like possibilities, obligations, permissions, deductions, etc. Now, uses of modal verbs. English has many modal verbs. Yes, we have many ones. And each modal verb can be used in different contexts. Let's talk about ability. We can use can, could. Can and could are majorly used to express ability. That is, when you have, is it a physical power, financial power, to do something, ability to do something. I can speak 3 languages. I can't read Latin because it's too difficult. I couldn't study it when I was in school. What about permission? We can actually use can to express permission. For instance, you can have more cake if you want. Another modal verb that we use for permission is may. You may take as much as you like. You can also use could. Could I have another slice of cake? That's why it's true that could sometimes is the opposite of can, but sometimes could can be used to express something entirely different. To express requests too, is either we use can, will, or would. Can you give me a ride home? You are requesting. Or could you give me a ride home later? Would you email James for me, please? Will you lock up the office tonight? For offers too, when you are offering to do something for someone. Can I help you with those? May I take one of those for you? Shall I carry some of your bags? For suggestions and advice, you should go to the doctor. You ought to go to the doctor. You could try the new medicine. For obligation, you can say you must. Obligation, something that it is imperative for you to do. You must arrive on time, or you must not be late for work. For logical deductions, it can't be Jane because she's on vacation. It could be Dave. It might be Dave. It may be Dave. It must be Tom, since nobody else ever calls. Now, how do we form modal verbs? Modal verb, they share certain characteristics. What we mean is that the verb that we use with them do not change. When you use modal verb, any modal verb, whether the one in the present or past, the verb that you will use for it is verb 1, the base form. It doesn't change. Look at that table. When you use either I, you, he, she, it, we, they, whichever, plural noun, plural pronoun, singular noun, singular pronoun, your modal verb, you will use it, then your verb will be base form. The verb stays the same for any subject. You can see the arrow. The verbs stay the same for any subject. For instance, you should run a marathon, not you should run a marathon. For the negative, you are just going to add your not in between the modal and the main verb. You should not run a marathon. Then for the question, you are just going to swap the what? The the modal verb and the subject, you are going to interchange. They should visit the castle. It will be, should they visit the castle? Ought to and have to are exceptions because they used to before the base form. So ought to is a more formal way of saying should, yeah. And have to is the more formal way of saying must. So we use it as normal verb. You ought to learn how to drive. You have to learn how to drive. Now, moving forward, we are going to be taking this thing one after the other. We are going to be checking modal verb that we use for ability. The main modal verb that we use for ability is can. Can is a modal verb that describes what someone is able to do. I am able. That's why we are going to talk about willingness in the later video, because it is possible for you to have the ability to do something, but you are not willing to do it. You can do it, but you will not do it. I can do this, but I do not want to do it, but I will not do it. That is, you have the ability, but you are not willing. And you may be willing to do something, but not have the ability to do it. So it is used in different form to describe past and present ability. Can, cannot, and can't. Can goes between the subject and the main verb, like we've already expressed. I can ride a bicycle. Even if we change the subject, she can ride a bicycle. Not she can ride. They can ride the bicycle. He can play the guitar. The negative form can be either cannot or can't. Contraction. I cannot sing jazz song. I can't sing jazz song. Let's look at that tip. The long negative form cannot is spelled as one word. Yes, please. You are to join it together. Not can space not. We write it this way. Cannot. Not cannot. So I hope you understand that. So for instance, Janet can play tennis. Bob can swim well. He cannot climb the tree. And if you want to use the contraction, you say they can't lift the box. Let's talk about could for past abilities. Could is the past form of can, yes. And it is used to talk about an ability in the past. When plus a time certainly can be used to say when someone had the ability. That is, you will use it to express your past ability. Say, for instance, I can't climb trees now. That's describing present ability. But I could when I was younger. Could is describing a past ability. Then how do we know that it is past ability? Because of the time frame when I was younger. The time frame can be put in form of age, day, or year. Let's look at further examples. When I was a student, I could study all night before an exam. The time frame there is when I was a student. So that shows it is past. I couldn't go to China last year. So you can't say, I can't go to China last year because it was expensive. No. Last year shows it is past. So it will be, I couldn't go to China last year because it was expensive. Or you say, I can't go to China this year. Then the next one is, when Milo was 8, he could play the violin. By implication, that means probably now he can't play the violin again. Well, when he was 8 that he could. Last year, she couldn't run very far. But yesterday, she ran a marathon. Okay, let's talk about can in the future. It is not grammatically possible to talk about the future using can. Instead of that, you will use will be able to. Let's look at the example. At the moment, I can play the trombone quite well. But you say, if I work harder, I will be able to play at concerts. You know, you're talking about future, right? You can't say, if I work harder, I can play at concerts. No. If I work harder, I will be able to play at concerts. The negative is formed with not able to or unable to. Unfortunately, I can't read music very well. If I don't learn, I won't be able to join the orchestra. Or if I don't learn, I will be unable to join the orchestra. So will be unable can be used, but it is less common. Now, there's something I want to chip in here that people express. It is wrong to say, I can be able to do the job. No, this is what we call tautology. Tautology. It is either you say, I can do the job, correct, or I am able to do the job. Because if you say I can be able to do the job, both are I can and be able are talking about ability. So that's tautology. Moving on, let's talk about permission, request, and offers. Permission, request, and offers. Can, could, and may are also used to talk about permission to do something or to ask someone to do something for you. They can also be used to offer help to someone. Now, one thing you have to understand is that one modal auxiliary verb can be used to perform 2 or 3 functions. You know, we've already talked about can and could above for ability. That doesn't mean that we cannot use it in another context. Let's move on. Asking permission. Can is the most common modal auxiliary verb that we use to ask or make permission, as we can also use it for ability. Can I have some popcorn? Can you zip my blouse for me? Yes, you can. Can I go with you to the junction? Could replaces can. Now, please take note of this permission now. In permission, we are not saying that could is used for past permission. No. Could is used for former situation. Can is used to express permission. Could is used to express permission in the formal setting. Take note of that. In the formal setting. For instance, excuse me, could I sit here? Or maybe you are talking to strangers or you are talking to somebody you do not know. You know, that's why we say in the English language, it's not about saying something, it's about how you say it. Excuse me, could I sit please? I am sorry, but that seat is taken. Negative answers can be more polite by saying I am sorry or I am afraid. Excuse me, could you sign this paper for me? I'm afraid I can't do that at the moment. Please take note of that. May can also be used to express permission in formal setting too. May I make an appointment? Of course. Can I borrow your pen? Can I have this in smaller size? Excuse me, could you open the door for me? You are making a request in polite manner. May I reserve a table for 7 p.m.? So take note of that. Now let's talk about making offers. Can and may can be used to make offer to do something for someone. This time around, you are the one offering to do something. Can I help you to carry those? Yes, please. May I take your coat? Yes, thank you. That's have to have. People say, oh, one of my problems is I don't know how to speak effectively or fluently. This is how to do it. When you know how to structure your word, your expression. Let's look at further example. Can I get you a drink? That would be lovely. You know, in this lesson that I'm giving you now, you are even learning how to respond. My computer is broken again. Can I help at all? You're offering help. Good evening. May I take your order? Maybe as a waiter. Yes, please. Polite response. Which way is the elevator you are requesting? It's on the left. May I help you with your bags? You are offering to what? To help. Let's look at shall for offers and suggestions. Shall is used to find out if someone think a certain suggestion is a good idea. That bag looks heavy. Shall I carry it for you? Yes, please. Shall I open the window? Good idea. It's far too hot in here. You can see that.